Today, we are diving headfirst into the wild world of competitive GeoGuessr. This is a place where one wrong turn on some random dusty road can literally cost you $1,000. And let me tell you, it is not just about knowing your geography. Nope, this is a high-stakes battle of wits, keen observation, and, yeah, sometimes just pure dumb luck.
So, I want you to imagine this for a second. You're just plopped down on a random street anywhere on the entire planet. You've got only a few seconds to look around, find some clues, and pinpoint your location on a map. You think you could do it? Okay, but more importantly, could you do it with $1,000 on the line? Because that's the insane challenge we're unpacking right now.
All right, let's meet our contenders. We've got YouTubers Chat History and Trust Me Bro. They're about to face off in a best-of-5 GeoGuessr match. Now, the winner gets bragging rights, of course. But the penalty is steep. The loser has to donate $1,000 to a charity of the winner's choice. So, no pressure. Let the games begin.
Now, what makes this whole thing so fascinating is the massive clash of styles. In one corner, you've got Chat History. He's the analyst, the detective, trying to methodically piece together every single clue. And in the other corner, you have Trust Me Bro, who, well, his name kind of says it all. He relies on gut feelings and first impressions. It is pure logic versus raw intuition.
So right from the very first drop, the pressure is cranked up to 11. Both guys are immediately thrown into this huge, barren landscape, and you can just feel the second-guessing start right away. Let's see how those first-round jitters really play out.
Chat History sees this endless, white, flat expanse, and his brain immediately goes to one place, the famous salt flats in the United States. He seems pretty confident too, and locks in his guess quickly, maybe trying to put some pressure on his opponent, a real bold opening move.
And this is just how brutal GeoGuessr can be. He wasn't just in the wrong country, he was on the wrong continent entirely. The actual spot? The Atacama Desert in Chile. Meanwhile, Trust Me Bro's gut feeling gets him unbelievably close, and just like that, he snags a massive early lead with over 4,700 points. Ouch.
And there it is, the simple, elegant, and let's be honest, very relatable reaction when your super confident guess turns out to be thousands of miles off. That is a tough start for our strategic thinker.
So how are you actually supposed to play this game? Well, you've got to be a detective. Players basically have this mental checklist they run through to try and solve the puzzle of where in the world they are. But as we've already seen, even a solid process doesn't always mean you're going to win. Okay, so first you scan the environment, right? You're looking at the trees, the soil, the terrain. Next, you go on a language hunt. Any text on road signs, storefronts, license plates, anything. Then you look at the little things like which side of the road are the cars on, where's the sun? That can help you guess the hemisphere. And finally, you throw it all together and, well, you make your best guess and pray. Now, you'd think that getting dropped right in front of some world-famous landmark would be an easy win, wouldn't you? Yeah. Not so much. See, recognizing a place is one thing, but knowing exactly where to click on a gigantic world map, that's a totally different ballgame.
And this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Trust Me Bro instantly recognizes the Taj Mahal. I mean, it's one of the most famous buildings on Earth. But that moment of recognition is immediately followed by just pure panic. He knows what he's looking at, but he has no clue where it is.
So in his panic, he starts frantically searching the map and confidently throws out Jakarta as a possible location. There's just one tiny problem. Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia. The Taj Mahal, of course, is in India. It's a classic case of what we call landmark brain freeze.
So after a few rounds of these wild guesses and some near misses, the scores are actually getting pretty close. The momentum is swinging back and forth like a pendulum. It's so clear that just one single accurate guess could completely flip this game on its head. So the question is, who's going to be the one to make that play? And here is that swing. The players get dropped into St. Peter's Square. Trust Me Bro knows it instantly, gets a nearly perfect score. Chat History, on the other hand, gets totally thrown off by the architecture and guesses Russia. He scores almost 0. And just like that, with one guess, the entire game changes, giving Trust Me Bro a huge commanding lead.
Okay, so for the next game, they decide to play a map with a pretty great name, the Dumb Test. The idea is simple. It only features incredibly famous, super obvious world landmarks. If you can't figure these out, well, the name of the map kind of speaks for itself. This should be a piece of cake, right?
So they go head-to-head at places like Big Ben, the Lincoln Memorial, the coast of Monaco, and yeah, they recognize all the locations, but the real challenge is getting the pin placement exactly right. They are both so good at it that the scores stay neck and neck the entire time.
And this is where it just gets insane. After 5 rounds at some of the world's most recognizable places, they end with a perfect, honest-to-goodness tie. 23,451 points for each of them. Turns out the dumb test wasn't so dumb after all. And now it's forcing a sudden death tiebreaker.
So, this is it. The entire $1,000 duel comes down to one final, winner-take-all game. They're on a completely random world map. No theme, no context, just pure, uncut GeoGuessr. You can feel the tension just radiating off the screen.
You can just hear the pressure in their voices. I mean, after all the back and forth, the lucky breaks, the epic fails, it all comes down to these last few moments. The bragging rights, the victory, and most importantly, that big charity donation. It's all on the line right now.
For the final, decisive location, they're dropped in some rural spot in Southeast Asia. Chat history sees some script on a sign, analyzes it, and thinks it looks Cambodian. Meanwhile, Trust Me Bro, after thinking about a few other spots, somehow lands on the exact same conclusion, Cambodia.
And in what has to be the most perfect final twist, they were both wrong. The actual location was Laos, the country right next door. But in GeoGuessr, it all comes down to who's closer. The win was decided by whose pin was just a few kilometers nearer to the real spot. And by that razor-thin margin, chat history clinches the victory.
And with that intense duel finally over, the focus shifts away from the game and to the real reason they were playing in the first place, that $1,000 prize for a really good cause.
Chat history, our winner, chooses the American Cancer Society. And he shares something really personal, that he lost all of his grandparents to the disease, which makes this victory hit a little differently for him. It's just a powerful reminder of the real-world impact behind all this competition. So, what does a duel like this really tell us? You know, after watching logic completely fall apart and gut instinct win big, and then seeing a tiebreaker get decided by a few miles on a guess that was still wrong, it really makes you wonder, to master the globe, do you need a world of knowledge, or do you just need a world of luck on your side?